In this video, I'm going to talk about some useful shortcuts in Microsoft Excel. Here are some of the shortcuts. We have the Control plus End, and we have Control Home, End, and Control A, Control backslash, and Control space. I will explain every one of these shortcuts and what they do, as you can see also in the slide. Consider this this table, and we will start with Control End. We have Control in the left side of your keyboard, and the End it sometimes is at the bottom of your keyboard or sometimes in the top. So I will start with this one. What this does is it select the bottom right cell in your current Excel sheet. Let's say right now I'm pressing the Control plus End, and as you can see, this is the sheet, the bottom sheet that is in my current sheet. Why it select this sheet? Because we have a value here, while we have empty cells here, but this is the last column in our sheet that has a value. So this is the last cell that in this current worksheet. So the next one is Control Home. I press the Control Home. It will select the first cell in our Excel sheet. So when I click, as you can see, it's directly moved here to, as you can see, the name A1. As it is also saying here. So sometimes when we work with a sheet and there is a lot of data, these shortcuts will come handy, because if I want to move from one side to another side, or if I want to go to the first cell, or if I want to go to the last cell, in this way it will help me to move around. Now what I did, I used the Shift because the first cell was selected. Then I used the Shift plus Control plus End. In this way, it selects all of the cells that have data in some way, or the cells that it is column or its row have some data. So my current worksheet was selected using the shortcut. So I wanted to select from top to the bottom. In this way, I press the Control Home and then press the Shift and press the Control End. In this way, it selects all of my current worksheet cells or active worksheet cells in this way. If I zoom a little bit out, you can see it selected all of these cells. Here we have this column. Because of this column, this is the last cell, and we have here the first column, and the first column, this row has a value, so it's like this, and it starts from very beginning to the end. In this way, these combination of these shortcuts will help you to select the cells that you want. While we can use cells like, for example, if I want to select this one, when I click, it is selected, and it's also the name came here. I can also use Control to select a specific cells here. Now I'm pressing the Control button and clicking the left mouse button, and it will select those cells. If I want to do something with these cells, I can do it. Like, let's say I give it a background color of blue, or if I give it a color of blue, or if I give it a color of orange or something else. As you can see, with the selection, I did it these stuff. So I can use the Control to select more options. Like if I have a sequence selection, I can use the mouse and drag it. If I have a selection that is not in sequence, let's say if I want to select something from here and from here and from here and from here, the Control button will help me do that. So I can do these things. I can also, for example, select all of these cells using the mouse button, but these shortcuts will help me to do it faster. Now the second one is the Home button. This also allow me to go to the first cell. Right now, let's say I am selecting this cell. If I press the Home button, it will directly go to the first. If I enter the End button, it will directly go to the cells at the bottom of the current worksheet. Another shortcut, which is Control A. If I select, it will directly select all of the tables, the table cell that are related to the current selection. And we have the Control backslash. Let's say I want to select some of the cells from this row. We need to select the row. Now if I press the Control backspace, as you can see, all the cells were selected that are and somehow relate to the current rows. For example, right now I have these, but these all cells which or somehow have the formula of this row, but this one is not, because it is empty. So these or have some values or something. That's why it selected these rows, but not this one, and but not the other sequence in this row. We have also the Control space, which select the column or the columns that are in the selected range. Now I press Control and space, and as you can see, all these columns are selected for this current sheet. Now if I select, I'm in this column. If I press Control space, it will only select these column and not other columns. Let's say if I select these two, this range, and if I press Control space, it will select all these. If I select 4 columns, and if I press Control space, it will select all those 4 columns.